Ever wondered why some countries have only one or two major political parties, while others have numerous parties? In this video, we'll explore different types of political systems based on the number of active parties involved. Join us as we uncover the reasons behind the variations and their impact. Stay tuned. You may have wondered why, for example, in the United States, the president always comes from either the Democratic or Republican Party. Some people might assume that no other parties exist in the country, but that is not accurate. This situation is related to the political structure of countries. Political systems can be classified based on the number of active parties within them. Some systems are non-partisan, and most of these non-partisan systems are individual dictatorship or absolute monarchies. In these countries, no party is allowed to operate, and the establishment of any political organization or party is illegal. There are a few rare examples of non-partisan democracies, but they are more prevalent in the countries with the very small populations. For instance, the Republic of Nauru in Oceania, with a population of 10,000, is an example of non-partisan democracy. In some systems, only one party is allowed to operate. This situation is observed in many dictatorial and communist countries. In these countries, the activities of other parties are generally prohibited, and anyone wishing to engage in political activities must become a member of that single party. China today is an example for such a system. Although there may appear to be a few other parties in reality, everyone is expected to be loyal to the main party, the Communist Party of China, and the political system does not allow them to exceed certain limits or cross red lines. Therefore, we are essentially witnessing a one-party system. Another scenario is the existence of multiple parties where a variety of parties coexist. However, to the historical and structural reasons, one party dominates for an extended period. Although other parties competing in election, the dominant party consistently emerges as the winner. For example, in Japan, except for 2 elections, the Liberal Democratic Party has always been victorious in election and formed the government. This situation is referred to as a dominant party system or a ruling party system. It is particularly prominent in local government and elections. You may have heard that some states in the United States are referred to as red or blue. This precisely reflects the situation where either the Republicans or Democrats have been uncontested for a long time, or a chance of a rival party gaining power are very slim. There is another type referred to as a two-party system. In this scenario, there are 2 parties that alternate in power. In most of these systems, the presence of other parties is not prohibited, but the political structure and election create a situation where individuals outside the 2 main parties have limited chance of winning political seats. Especially in systems with a majority-based electoral system, the dominance of 2 parties is more common. The United States is a clear example of a 2-party system with a presidential structure, while the United Kingdom can be considered an equivalent to a 2-party parliamentary system. However, the UK is often described as a flexible 2-party system, since there are other parties beside the 2 main ones, the Labour and Conservative parties, that are active and have representative in parliament. Nevertheless, a candidate from one of the 2 main parties always becomes the prime minister, and over the past 300 years, coalitions have formed only 7 times, allowing members from other parties to enter the cabinet. The final model is the multi-party system. Most parliamentary systems, especially those based on proportional representation, fall into this category. The detailed explanation of majority-based and proportional representation electoral system is beyond the scope of this video. However, in summary, in majority-based election, the candidate who receives the most votes wins, while in proportional representation, each party receives seats in parliament based on the proportion of votes they received. In multi-party systems, the government is formed through coalition between multiple parties according to the majority of seats held by these parties in parliament. Countries such as France, Germany, and Italy are examples of multi-party systems. However, it is important to note that, for example in Germany, one of the 2 major parties, either the Social Democrats or the Christian Democrats, has always been the largest party in parliament. Although they did not have a majority and needed to form coalition with the smaller parties to establish a government, this relative majority ensured that the chancellor comes from one of these two parties. Essentially, duality has more stability, and this principle can even be observed in physics. Therefore, in multi-party systems, especially those with more stable governments, a form of duality is still present. However, this balance naturally formed over time and is not limited. Due to various reasons and over time, this balance may be disrupted, but there is a high probability that a new equilibrium will be established around the two main poles again. In this video, we explored the possibility of countries without parties, where a single party holds all the power, where two parties alternate in power, or where multiple parties compete relatively equally. It should be noted that these divisions, like any other classification, are not absolute. In the real world, these divisions exist on a spectrum, and over time, the situation in a country may fluctuate between different states and change. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this content informative, we appreciate your support by liking the video and subscribing to our channel. Feel free to leave any questions or suggestions for future topics in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.